I must admit, when a sporty two-door vehicle arrives, sometimes I might even blush. What's really great this week, at least the vehicle matches. Hey, and welcome to this edition of Road Warrior. I'm your host, Grant Roberson. Now, this week's latest offering is the 2015 Infiniti Q60S. And what we found was, of course, what we expected under the hood. Better yet, a lot of artistic impression known as the profile. One of the biggest things you're going to notice right off the bat has to be the silhouette, the profile here on the Q60, because after all, not all coupes are created equal, and maybe the Q60 kind of breaks the mold. And where it all starts is right here at the front. Really kind of a wide front end, where other vehicles maybe have a little bit narrower and then get wider as you go back. Well, they pretty much plan it nice and strong here at the front end, all kind of coming together with this wave-like design here on the hood, kind of bringing these haunches here a little bit up for a little bit more added pizzazz. Now, as you sweep down the profile, we're going to get to these different color accents here, but they have a minimal eye line that kind of comes right down here, blended into the curves just a little bit and a little bit stronger as you get to the back. And of course, you got these lower sills for a little bit more flair. Looking at the front end and what I refer to as grille warfare, the first thing you'll notice is that continuation of body color all the way around, a little bit of chrome accents. On this particular model, a black insert grille. Now, this is the stylized double arch grille that you see here, and this whole front end has kind of a bullnose effect sweeping out here, really giving this whole hood kind of an elongated like front end. Now, down low, of course, you got all this fascia down here, really this wide mouth open port grimacing at the competition as it goes by. Now, looking at the headlights, it's an L-shaped like design, really arching up into these fenders for even more pizzazz. And of course, tucked down low is standard fog lights found in this little niche. The profile is important, the front end, but you can't forget about the beauty all coming together here at the back, because people are going to see the rear end on this vehicle just as much as they see it coming. Now, where this vehicle all kind of comes together is with these rear pillars coming around this rear deck lid, almost like it's been liposuction to kind of give a little bit more aerodynamics. Now, you see this rear spoiler, it matches, of course, the tires on this particular model and the side view mirrors. And what's great is it all gives a nice aerodynamic appeal, and even as you sweep down, no bumper, all tucked in nice and sleek and tight to the body, and these tail lights give an added pizzazz here at the back end. Now, there is added safety with backup sensors, a camera mounted right here. Last but not least is that performance in these huge oversized dual exhaust pipes that give out a great growl when you hit the gas. There are many important numbers on any coupe, and where I like to start instead of the hood is really on the outside, because after all, if this tall frame can't climb inside, well, what's the point? Now, by the numbers, this vehicle is just over 183 inches long with a stretched wheelbase at around 112, and really by those numbers, this is far from kind of small, but more of a mid-size offering. Now, by the other numbers, this is about 4.5 feet tall and 6 feet wide, and what's really great about that rear track is it's about 1/2 inch wider compared to the front. Now, I've heard of blacking out your windows, but why not take it down to the rims? Now, again, this is the limited model, and what's great with these rims, well, they kind of match all the accents, and that really is important, is taking your accessories and matching your outfit. Now, when you look at the tires on this particular model, they are Performance 225 45s in the front and Performance 245 40s in the rear, and better off with this limited, where we upgrade from 18-inch wheels to 19-inch. When you have a cool ride like this, the importance really comes down to, well, looking cool, and where it all starts to me is not fiddling when you get to the door. Now, what's great is it does come with the smart key system. Heck, the key is so small you almost forget about it, and where it all starts is here at the door handle. Now, both doors have the kind of corresponding button. You simply press it one time and it's going to open right up, really giving you ease all the way around. Now, it may sound trivial because this is a coupe. Well, what does the trunk offer? Well, decent space, just over 7 cubic feet. Now, where that came into play was going to the golf course, because can you get a kind of clubs in here? Well, sure you can. Now, to get access back here, you simply can kind of press this button here. It's hidden in the tail light. Took me just a second to kind of truly find. Otherwise, you can use the fob. Now, pressing that up, it's going to kind of give you quick access. And what I found is no golf club is going to really get in here with these, but where the true indication of this vehicle really handling anything is right here in this handle. Pull that there, the rear seats are going to tumble forward and take a full-size golf bag and really handle it with ease. Now, the Infiniti's beauty is a lot more than skin deep, and really it's kind of all under the hood. Now what it comes with is a 3.7 liter V6 engine with decent horsepower, around about 330 horses and 270 foot-pounds of torque. Now what does that translate at the end of the day behind the wheel? Well, a lot of boot scooting, boogie, and where it all really kind of culminated with me is that great muffler rumble from the back end, kind of a high performance squeal and whine and grumble that you really kind of get into. And sometimes it even happened just at 5 miles per hour. Earlier I hinted at this vehicle feels more mid-size than coupe, and really it all kind of comes together here on the inside, more specifically the legroom numbers. Now up front you're looking at over 43.5 inches, with the back falling just under 30. Now what does that really translate to? Well, plenty of room up front, meaning these seats can actually slide forward just a hair, give a little bit more breathing room to those back knees. Now up front, what you're going to see is a nice simple dash, nothing overdone, not too many chisels, and really kind of just more of a plain Jane, something I prefer because the outside really delivers what I needed. I don't need it on the inside. Now on the gauges here, pretty much standard operating procedure with analog tach and speedometer, with a very minimal LCD screen in the center there for a little bit of information as you're going down the road. Now in the center is of course typical cluster, huge oversized touchscreen, navigation, and pretty much a few buttons to go along with everything, but no cumbersome to mention. Now down below is dual climate controls, something I really do prefer, and they really have a dial specific knobs with again the mode and other selection buttons kind of centered in between. Now everything else is pretty much black all the way around, a little bit of red stitching and pretty much some brushed chrome here for added accent. As for the ergonomics, it's pretty much coupe design with a little bit of race inspired seats, but they're not too snug, meaning pretty much any physique can really find their comfort. Now what I like is on the driver's seat, it is power controls with some lumbar support, while the passengers pretty much get straightforward operations with moving it forward powered, you know, here and there. Now as for getting into the back seat, what I really like is for the little kids, when they climb back there, you can use this control right here to kind of ease this seat forward and backward, give a little bit ease of ingress. Now even better, if you pull the handle right there, it's going to manually tumble it forward, press the button, then it simply powers out of the way without really having to do anything. Now this engine was coupled with the 7-speed automatic transmission, but you can opt for the 6-speed manual if you prefer. Now as for this vehicle, you simply take it down to drive, and in my opinion, forget about it, because pretty much you hit the gas and it's going to do all the work. Now if you do like kind of that manual like feel, simply pop it to the left and either use the kind of handle here or the paddle shifters on the steering wheel to give you kind of more that clutch like feel. Now as for the overall layout here, you do have a decent console, really kind of opens up to a small little area that you can kind of throw some things in, and it does have connectivity, you know, kind of tucked away inside. Even better, you do have dual cup holders up here, also in the doors, and even better, it's kind of a little conceal here. You can kind of tuck it out of the way when you're not using it, because after all, this isn't really a beverage holder, it's more of a sports automobile. Now there are heated seats on this particular model, and you can dial them into numerous settings, so you can heat it up just a little bit or quite a bit. That does it for this edition of Road Warrior, and a test drive behind the wheel of the 2015 Infiniti Q60S. Now a couple of highlights to mention had to be the matching black wheels with the black accents, and again adorned in that typical racing inspired red exterior. Now that front end again has kind of flared haunches, really gives you a front grille warfare, all sweeping to the back to that kind of slightly wider track. Now not to forget, that inside has all the innovations, and we like the fact that it came with that automatic transmission with the paddle shifters, because I really don't prefer that clutch dance. But if you want to, of course, look at the manual. Now as always, I'd like to thank you for watching this edition of Road Warrior. Keep both hands on the wheel and eyes straight ahead.